The topic is about why do we think? Last week, the topic is about why do we love? So then you learn last week is we learn because why? Because that's a law. That's the way how the universe works. Okay? So we have to surrender to the universe. We have to follow the law. I mean, we have to love, but love in a pure manner, not in a selfish manner. Because if you love in a selfish manner, then you receive pain because you go against the law. Yeah. So you have to be seeing oneness, seeing unity. Then you go toward the right direction. Then at that time, you are happy. So now, why do we think? It's the same thing. We have to understand how it works. Okay. So you see, when you sit in meditation, what you try to do, you try to get back to the source of thought, basically. Yeah. You would try to get back to the place where everything comes from. Okay? The place of pure consciousness, of absolute truth, of absolute freedom, of absolute peace, absolute contentment. You try to get back to that place. And what you try to do is you try to calm down the mind, concentrate the mind, reducing the number of thoughts in the mind, reducing all the distractions and the desires and the memories and the plans and the ideas and the sensual input of the mind, in order for you to get back to the place of peace and calmness and oneness and absolute. Okay, the source of the mind itself. So this is what we are trying to do when we are meditating. Okay? So then from that experience of attempting meditation, you can understand. See, if you are thinking, either thinking about this and that and comparing things, this is mostly that's what we do. Different sensual input come in our mind, different things we think is happening to our life, and then we think and we compare, and then we try to find solutions, and then we cogitate, and then we agitate, and then we try to find solution. Okay? And oftentimes the more that you think, the more that you are thinking. You think yourself into exhaustion. Yeah. So oftentimes when people stop thinking is when they are exhausted, when they become sick, when they have no solution, and they start to surrender. They surrender. I don't know. You see? They say, I don't know. It's okay that I don't know. Before that, they don't think it's okay that they don't know. So they get very agitated. They try to find ways, this way, that way, until they become exhausted. Yeah. So all beginning of a spiritual journey, or the seeking the truth, and the seeking the source of the mind, and the seeking peace, started like this. When we start to know that I know that I don't know. See? So our ego is kind of smashed or broken or damaged, and our feeling of pride, we think that we are in control. That's the problem. Yeah. We live our life, we think that we are in control of our life, that our little intellect is everything, yeah, that we are God, that we are controlling everything, and we try to resolve everything out of our mind, out of our little intellect. Sometimes it works and we are quite happy, yeah, and sometimes it doesn't work, then we go crazy, yeah, and we blame everybody, and then we find another solution and another way, like this. So we are living our life in a very precarious manner. Precarious because we are constantly attempting, yeah. So stress is a big problem of this life, yeah, and unhappiness is a big problem of this life. So we are always trying to find a temporary solution. I mean, we think it's permanent, but it's always show up as a temporary patch, temporary solution to our problem. So that's why yoga and Vedanta go to the root cause of the problem. And we need to go there in order for us to have some inspiration so that we can put our efforts in the right direction. Okay, instead of constantly putting effort out and then find ourselves in the same place and putting effort out and think our way to peace. Can we think our way to peace? No, we cannot think our way to peace. We have to be peace and not thinking our way to peace. We cannot think and have peace. You have to have peace. So peace is a transcendental matter. Transcendental means transcending the mind. Yeah, meditation is transcending the mind. Peace is transcending the mind. Yeah, pure happiness is transcending the illusion of personal love, until you find that you find the cosmic beat, the cosmic rule, which is that oneness in consciousness, or that absolute love. It's the same. You have to go toward that direction, yeah, the direction of transcendence, not finding the solution in our mind, yeah, but understanding what is it that we are doing. Okay, so it is said that no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that has created it. And we try to solve our problem in life by using our mind to solve the problem. Okay? But the problem has been presented to our mind because it has been created to our mind, has been perceived to our mind, by our mind, to be a problem. So we use that mind in order to solve the problem, and it's not possible. That's why we go round and round, and that's why we think so much. Is it not? Yeah. So, and sometimes we say overthinking. Yeah? We are overthinking our way. Yeah. But it is said, less thoughts, more peace. More thoughts, less peace. At least if you can grasp that, if you can understand that, yeah, how to make your mind think less, okay, then you can have peace. But then you say, oh, Swami, you asked me another time, you asked me to think. Okay, you can think, yeah, also, but you have to think in a enlightened manner. You have to think with wisdom. Yeah. So that kind of thinking is called jnana yoga thinking. Yeah, the yoga of knowledge. So it's not just random thinking. It's not just thinking with the ego. Yeah, it's the thinking in order to discover how the mind and the ego have deceived you, and how you can straighten things out. Okay, using your discriminative intelligence. Okay, so it's a different way of thinking that you have to learn. So I give you an example. The example is a classical example of a person walking in the dark and see a snake. And the person is very afraid of snake. Yeah. and is really have a big heartbeat and almost a heart attack and run away and try to find somebody to help the person bring the light and see the snake. The person cannot go to his home because of the snake. Very scared. And then when the light is being brought, and then the person realized that it is not a snake. Actually, it is a rope, an innocent rope was sitting in front of the door. Yeah. So then the snake disappeared. Then all the fear and all the imagination about what the snake would do also would cease immediately, disappear. Yeah. Because when you see the reality is the rope. The moment you see the reality, then the snake, the projected idea of danger, yeah, disappeared. So what that means? It means that the snake and the fear of the snake and all the thoughts that come from the fear of the snake and all the imagination come from our mind. Yeah, it come from our mind. And let's say that you see the snake and you believe the snake to be real. And then you do all kinds of things in order to calm the snake down and the snake not biting you. How do you do that? You can put some poison. You can find a stick and you try to hit the snake. You can shout. You can stomp your feet. You can do all kinds of things in order to chase a snake away, right? But you are chasing the imaginary snake. There was no snake. Yeah. You try to solve the problem that comes from a projection of your mind, and you try to change things, but it's not going to change. Yeah. Because the main thing is you have to see the reality. Then the snake disappear. The same in your dream. In your dream, you are dreaming of some kind of bad nightmare. Yeah. And you in the dream, actually you try the solution, like in our daily life. Yeah. We see something doesn't work and we try, we make the effort, right? Everyone make the effort differently. Yeah, we always try to improve our life differently. Yeah, because we suffer from all this mental agony that come from perception of imperfection and the perception of being, being alone, being let down, being rejected, not getting what you want. And some people have dream of, always things running away from them. They run after that. And some people would have dream of something all the time running toward them and they run away from it. And some people have the dream of falling down, and some people have the dream of flying up. So different kind of scenario that we can come up with our mind in our dream. But if we're going to try to correct it from our dream point of view, yeah, and that's what we do, we try to correct it. It's not possible. It doesn't work. So the only thing is you have to wake up. You have to wake up from that reality. So there's a switch in the shift of consciousness, shift in belief system. Okay, so you get that? So why we think so much? We think and feel and think and feel to exhaustion. until we break down. Our mind is constantly nurturing the same scenario, the same argument, and we find no solution. Okay? So at that time, when you start to overthinking and start to be tired from thinking, then you have to know, at least you have to know, okay? At least you have to know that you need to do more sadhana. Sadhana means spiritual practices, and all spiritual practices are helping you to find the peace and not to go around with your mind. Not go around with your ego, with your projected idea of this is the reality and you are suffering from it. You are suffering from it. So the sadhana, spiritual practices, whatever practices, yoga practices that you do, yeah, either meditation, either, moving the prana with your asana, either, offering yourself to the name of the divine, yeah, either go back to your sense of self-surrender, sense of faith, absolute faith, to become humble, to know that you don't know. Yeah. So you need to go back to that place of healthy perception of yourself. Okay. And or you can say the healthy self-control, healthy controlling of the mind and the thought waves. Okay? Reducing the thoughts, make the mind become one-pointed. Have less thoughts. You have to agree to do that. You have to surrender to it. Because you cannot meditate when the mind is wide. You cannot even concentrate when the mind is wide. So you have to choose the simplicity. You have to choose the returning to source. You have to choose the surrendering. You have to choose to go back to the peace that passes all of your understanding. Yeah, you have to be. So oftentimes we have to be beaten up before we surrender. See, and then the moment that we surrender, then again our mind will come up with a new scenario, yeah, to torture us. So, and the thoughts start to, I say torture, but it's like that. Yeah, it's unending business of the mind projection of different things. Yeah, until again we have to get back to our core of wisdom. Yeah, and become calm and become humble and start again, to go within, and turn the mind within and start to practice these different yoga techniques in order to thin out the mind. What does that mean? Thin out the mind. Make the mind think less. Okay? So when the mind think less, you are in the right direction. When the mind think more, cogitate more, you are in the wrong direction. Okay? So pranayama is very wonderful too, to have the mind think less, because you work directly with the prana, and the prana is directly related to the thoughts. So that's why when you can work with pranayama, then your mind calm down. Your emotions, when we say mind means emotions, calm down. Yeah, the craving of oneness, the craving of being loved, the craving of of peace, the craving of understanding, of clarity, yeah, and the craziness, the delusional thinking, yeah, uh, carry on. So then you have to go back, yeah, to the sadhana, to the peace, so that you can change perspective. Okay? So why we think? We think because of our karma. That means we are born in this life in order for us to find our freedom, in order for us to find our self-realization, our source, like I said, our peace of mind, like I said, yeah. And our mind is a tool for us to go toward that, or to go in the wrong direction. And then so when you start to recognize that, if I do this, then I have more peace, then it seems that I feel more clear, I feel so happy. And if I do this, I will become more distracted, more unhappy, more restless, more blaming, more, self-victimizing, and so on. So you eventually you have to come to that realization of your way for liberation, your way for freedom. Yeah. And then you practice it. Okay. You need to see that big picture. You need to calm down the thinking, alleviate the ego. I mean, the sense of things are distinctively, uh, under your control. Yeah. You need to alleviate that idea. Yeah. You need to calm down, surrender, and relax. Yeah, from your own way of thinking and behavior. You need to alleviate that sense of yourself, separate and different. And you need to channel your effort in the right direction. You channel your effort in the right direction, then it says thinning out the mind. That means bringing the mind to sattva, bringing the mind to clarity. Okay? And then you wake up. And then all of a sudden you look and you see, oh my God, all this big thing that I created, in my mind, all this big drama that I created in my mind, yeah, is nothing. I'm okay. I can live in that situation, but it doesn't touch me. Okay? So I'm just very happy. Why I'm happy? Because I'm happy with myself. Yeah. I'm not happy because of this and that, and because I changed this and I changed that. I'm not anymore, steep in the called the Maya of my mind. Things that are changing, and I try to make it better, then it's changing, and I run after that, and then it's changing. So that's called Maya, the Maya of my mind, the confusion of my mind. So that's the story of snake and rope, and the story of why we think. Yeah, we think because you believe in the reality that we see, and then we think because we try to change it, we cogitate and we try to change it. Yeah, and the more that we think, the more we feel that we are stuck, right? So we have to have this educated thinking, yeah, and then learn to detach, learn to step out of our own mind. Yeah, don't try to change things, but try to step out of our own mind, to go back to source, yeah, to find our way back home, and then things change. Yeah, that whole picture, that whole drama and everything start to change. Okay, so We need to find our consciousness. The moment we find ourselves, the people that self-realize, they find themselves, and they become very quiet. No matter what happened, they are okay. Yeah, because why? Because they find themselves, and they realize the Maya, that it's not really worth it, to try to change it. So they see the divine in the universe, and they start to see things differently. Okay, there's two ways how you do this. One is you have to follow the methods of yoga and Vedanta, yeah, to deny the unreality and to see the reality, deny the mind, deny the projection, deny the unreality, and see the mind. See the consciousness, realize the absolute consciousness within you. Okay? In Vedanta, it says neti neti, not this, not that, not this, not that, not this, not that, so that you are not falling into the trap of the ego. And then eventually, then you find the peace within you. So then you have, it's called the experience of wisdom within you. But then you also have to have the experience of wisdom when you are functioning in this world. When you are functioning in this objective world, okay, where you see the experience of imperfection, because the mind is active and the senses are active. When the mind is active, the senses are active, and you are associating with what you see as objects outside of you, then at that time you have this experience of imperfect world. Okay? So then now you have to somehow also, because you have the experience of pure consciousness within you, you have to also see the experience of the world as under a different light. Yeah. So instead of seeing objects of the senses and of the mind, you have to seeing it as divine. So this is another contemplative, meditative technique, which maybe another time we talk about. So you try to learn to see the world as divine manifestation. So then at that time, yeah, you can live in the world, out of the world. You are not caught in Maya, yeah, and then eventually you are free. Okay. So what I'm saying is that you cannot stop thinking, yeah, but you need to think sattvic thoughts that are more wise. Okay, that's why you need to do practice, and you need to study, yeah, and be in satsang in order for your mind to have thoughts, but more positive thoughts that are more clear and enlightened. Okay, and then you have to try to see this world as a divine manifestation, and instead of seeing it as the world under your personal control, and not seeing this world as your a projected idea from your ego. Okay, so this is a trick. There's a twist that you need to make when you start to become wise and you start to do your practice. Then you can see the self within, but you see also the divine without. That's the whole goal. You start to see the self within, you start to see the divine without. Okay, so with that, also your mind will calm down. And eventually, you realize that everything is one. There is no within, there is no without. The within and the without actually are one. And that time you become more contented and less crazy. Okay? How many minutes more? 25 minutes more. So I know it's a big topic, okay? It's a big topic of yoga and Vedanta. The perception of yourself and the perception of reality. Okay? So I try to make it very simple, that whatever the experience that you have in life, yeah, you try to detach. What that means, you try to see it, but not so much from the point of view of the ego that is associated yourself with it. Okay? But you try to step back to see it from a bigger perspective. So you are more detached about it. Okay? So when you are more detached about things, you think less. You save your peace of mind. Okay? Let's say somebody do something wrong. Yeah. So you can be very upset, disturbed, criticizing, thinking that thought over and over and over again. Yeah. Or you can say, well, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And then you just don't let it enter into your mind. And don't create new waves in your mind. Okay? So the thought of the mind is called a vritti. A vritti is called a mental modification, the mental disturbance in the lake of your mind. Okay? So ideally, is your mind is like a lake that has no wave, that is very calm, that it has it's so clear that you can see yourself within it. Okay, but then when the lake mind has thought waves, and when you see yourself, then it's not the experience of truth. You see things distorted. Okay, so you need to understand the nature of thought. So you are nothing else but a thought. Okay? Swami Sivananda said, what a man thinks upon, that he becomes. Okay? So whatever you think about, that's what you become. Okay? Think you are strong, strong you become. Think you are weak, weak you become. Okay? Think you are fool, fool you become. Think you are God, God you become. So a person forms his own character, becoming that which he thinks. So if you meditate on courage, courage will become part of your character. So you cannot stop thinking. So then you can think things that is helpful for your path. Okay? Instead of things that are negative thinking, are unhelpful for your path. Because it takes all your prana. It doesn't help you. Okay? So you have to think positively. You cannot stop thinking. You cannot be in a meditative state all the time, seeing the divine all the time. But at least you have to have positive thinking. Okay? So you need to think pure thoughts. You need to be patient with yourself and as unselfish as possible and as calm as possible. Okay? So then the thoughts that come out from that mental factory will not be so harmful for you. It become more peaceful. So we call it sattvic thoughts. So if you think nobly, yeah, you make yourself a noble character. But if you think basely, that means you think in a very low manner, then a base character will be formed. Okay? So you are constantly attracting towards you from both seen and the unseen side of life forces, thoughts, influence, and condition, most akin to those of your own thoughts and lines. So what that means? It means whatever you think happen. Okay? Whatever you think happen. I mean, because your tendency in your mind, yeah, you think, oh, you know, nobody loves me, nobody care, I'm always being abused. Now you think like this, so then you attract that situation to yourself. Okay? So think grandly, think in a most positive manner, yeah, and this a situation might still come because there is a residue of thoughts, because your subconscious mind is thinking, so it created the karma, yeah. But you need to keep thinking positively, and eventually the karma will dissolve. So why we think? We think because of our karma. Our karma makes that we have thoughts in the mind that are not dissolved, that coming from our spiritual ignorance. So that's why we have to be reborn with the body and with the mind in order for us to experience things and in order to us to experience this wrong kind of thoughts in our mind, in order for us to surrender and to let go, yeah, and to change our way of thinking. Okay? So to summarize the question, why do we think? Why do we think so much? We think because of our karma. Okay? Because we have to learn. And then we agitate ourselves because we have to learn. And the best way is you learn the thinking that come from the rishis or the sages or the teachers, so that from that positive thinking, then it helps you to also understand your own situation and go more direct to the salvation. More directly, you can go toward the freedom from the alienation or the entanglement that was caused by your own thinking. Okay, that's why Yoga Vedanta taught you a lot about what is the mind, what is thought, what is the self, what is illusion, and what is the truth. Know also that thought has the power of not only of attraction, but the thought has the power we call of association. So what it does, you think one thought, and then this thought would gang up with many other thoughts. So one thought come, and then many thoughts would come with it. So that's why the thought becomes strong. Okay. So then that's why you need to use this technique we call satsanga. Satsanga means company with the wise. Yeah. So instead of thinking your own thought and your own negative thoughts, and a lot of negative thoughts that come with it, yeah, you need to be in association or talk it out or be in company with people that don't have this kind of thought. I mean, they are positive. Okay. So then it would bring also other positive thoughts that come from you that you have known before. So then the power of satsanga, yeah, building up that whole crowd of positive thoughts that would push the crowd of negative thoughts out. Okay. So thought is a real karma. Okay, so because of karma, you're born with this mind and with this mental factory, and so you need to resolve this, and it will resolve your own karma. Okay, that means it will free yourself from these habitual patterns of the mind, yeah, and will free you. Okay, so in general, try to live your life in a meditative state as you can, yeah, in as simple as you can. Conserve your thought energy. Don't overthink. If you have a problem, then do sadhana so it can simplify your mind. Okay, and if you have conflict with somebody, then go back to the harmony. Yeah, try to resolve this conflict and live in a simple manner. Try to have love in your heart. Then it will resolve the conflict. And try to do introspection so that you can remove the useless thoughts in the mind. Okay, the negative thoughts, the useless thoughts, so many useless thoughts. It's like your house is full of objects that are not used since a very long time. So you have to clear it out, okay? And then you feel better. You know, when you clear things out, you feel better. The same when you have less thoughts. Yeah, when you do, sometimes you do detoxification, you know, and you come and you eat very simple food and you live a very simple life. You take a walk in nature, and all of a sudden you feel more light. Because when you are stressed out, then you are overwhelmed. When you are stressed, because you are overwhelmed by so many thoughts, and then the ego is still there holding on to these thoughts. So you have to be able to switch out of that. Okay, then you have clear thinking, and you become a waveless jnani. Swami Sivananda says that it's a waveless jnani, means a wise person that have less thoughts, that have no thought. Okay? Thank you very much. Good luck in your sadhana, in your constant effort in the right direction to reduce the thoughts, okay, and to find the self. Oh.